Hey guys, SamSauce411 back here today, bringing you some Modern Warfare Alpha and Beta gameplay I have saved up. So, the topic of today's video is going to be my hopes for Modern Warfare, and the game comes out in like 2 days. So, if there's any troubles with it right now, they ain't gonna get fixed before launch. And I'm fully aware of that, but I want to make that clear that my hopes is more so how I hope it's gonna go, and not what I hope is in the game, because most of the stuff is already known by now. Anyways, before we get into the video, if you like the video, please leave a like down below. If you want to see more content like it, especially Modern Warfare content, in the near future, please be sure to subscribe. If you have any creative suggestions for future videos, or any constructive criticism, or if you want to feature an episode of Fun with Friends, comment down in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. With that being said, let's get into the video. So to be perfectly honest, this video is going to be kind of more like a spitball type of video, where I just kind of go off of stuff off the top of my head. For starters, I want to talk about the main important thing of this game, which is the campaign. Now, I know some of you might say, well, Sam, you know, COD's always been a multiplayer game, pretty much, you know. It's been multiplayer heavy. They didn't even have a campaign last year. That's my point. They're banking on the campaign hard because they realize that true Call of Duty fans want a campaign, but they want a good campaign, which Activision hasn't delivered in years. And that's coming from someone who's beaten every campaign on the hardest difficulty for every Call of Duty from Modern Warfare, World at War on PlayStation 3 onward. And I beat it, I think, on Veteran on the Wii. I don't think I did it on the PlayStation 3 because my game got a fatal error. The original Modern Warfare, COD 4, got fatal errored on PS3. Anyways, though. So, COD fans want a truly good campaign, and it seems like Activision just doesn't want to acknowledge that up until now. They finally realized that maybe the money isn't all in multiplayer and microtransactions, and that's a really good thing. That's a good thing not only for Activision as well. EA seems to have taken notice with Jedi Fallen Order. That game is looking to be really good, and I'm going to be honest, I made a video about a week ago, right before all the new footage came out, basically on a rant about how Jedi Fallen Order is going to be a pile of dog crap. Because Fallen Order, up until like this past week, the only gameplay we had was E3, and the entire story was on rails. So I'm like, great, every EA campaign for the past like 5+ years of the main titles like that has been like a do it in 2 hours or less game. And I knew that they wouldn't obviously do that for a single player only, but I was like, it's going to be super easy, the collectibles are going to be ridiculously easy, it'll be done in a couple hours. And I went on a rant about that, but then new footage came out, new info came out, and it's looking really good. So go and pick that up if you're a Star Wars fan. I would recommend it. I'm going to go pre-order it here pretty soon. I'm still debating to get digital or physical, because there really isn't like a steelbook or anything. If there was a steelbook, I'd get it physical, but I don't know, I might get it digital. Anyways, back to topic here. It seems that major game companies have taken a notice that fans want good stories. They want to actually play a game that is not multiplayer only. And I know that might sound like a shocker to some bigwig in an office. Like, why would I not want to, I don't know, be able to play a game without relying on other people to play it with me? But yeah, no, it's nice. As a gamer, as someone who has been playing games for the better part of their life, not necessarily like religiously or anything, not all the time, but I've had video games in my life since I was in elementary school, and I've always enjoyed them. I will say that a good story is far more satisfactory than any multiplayer could ever be. When you have a good story, and when you have really well-written characters and a really good plot, it's worth far more. It's just like a movie, you know. A lot of new action movies do the same thing. Like, oh, well, you only want the fast pace, you only want the cool stuff. No, a movie can't just be explosions. I mean, obviously, Michael Bay didn't pick up on that, and he made an entire franchise called Transformers, which is a pile of dog crap, to say the least. I want to keep this kid friendly. At least this specific video. With that being said, though, it's nice to see that Modern Warfare is taking a turn, hopefully for the better. Again, everything we've seen so far, cards on the table. It's October 23rd when I'm recording this. It's going to be October 24th when I post it. By the time that I post it and it's uploaded and it's all good, likely speaking, campaign gameplay will be coming out as it gets uploaded. And I can't speak off of personal experience. I can't speak off of videos that I've watched. I'm speaking, I don't want to say heart to heart, but I'm speaking out of what I've seen and what I feel in my gut. You know, after playing so many games, especially Activision games, as well as EA games, and seeing how they treat campaigns, this game looks like a breath of fresh air. It looks like it's something that is going to harken back to the old days where Call of Duty wasn't necessarily story-based, but it wasn't 100% on multiplayer either. It had a good balance between the two, and that's extremely respectable. That being said, this campaign has been said that it's super realistic. There's going to be some questionable things shown in the campaign, to say the least. I've heard that there's some scenes of war crimes, such as murdering civilians and stuff in the campaign, and I actually like that. I don't like the actual acts, don't get me wrong, I despise that, but I like the fact that Call of Duty, for the first time since World at War, will be showing really war crimes. They'll be showing war in its true form. People will talk to you all the time, mention things about, oh, well, this is a war crime, this is against the rules. In a real war, 9 times out of 10, there are no rules. At least, you know, it's not like, oh, we're gonna fight fair and clean and nobody who doesn't deserve to get hurt, you know, will get hurt. You know, a lot of the time, there are people who get in the way. A lot of the time, bad stuff happens. And those people on the ground, you know, bless their heart, they gotta make a choice. They gotta choose whether they're going home or, you know, they don't. And I like that this game is apparently going to touch on that, especially in its campaign. Now, one more thing that I will say having to pertain to its campaign, and this is as a trophy hunter, specifically. As a trophy hunter, it's kind of neat to see that the trophy list, which came out officially today, it's all single player. With the exception of, I think, one Spec Ops trophy, but I think you can play Spec Ops single player, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm spitballing, I'm not editing this, so yeah, you just caught me getting caught up on my own tongue. Anyways, no, it's nice as a trophy hunter to see a single player only Call of Duty for trophies. Now, that might mean that they're really easy, or that could mean they're really hard. And there's one trophy that really seems to bother me, in the sense of it could be really easy or it could be really hard, and there's a trophy that's a gold trophy that is complete the campaign on veteran or realistic realism. They listed it as one of the two difficulty. Now, if realistic is the same as it was in Black Ops 3, then that basically means you insta-die. But I'm wondering why they give you the option of veteran unless there's a caveat for veteran that makes veteran harder, such as maybe more enemy spawns or whatever. But no, Special Ops, I guess we can start moving into Spec Ops, so I'm gonna cut off this one here. Alright, so moving into Spec Ops, before I get too carried away in the campaign, because we only got like 15-14 minutes left. Spec Ops seems to be cool. 4-player, I think, co-op. And then PlayStation, of course, gets the survival mode a year early. and I am going to touch on this in just a minute, about my opinions on the exclusivity deal between Sony and Activision for Modern Warfare. Before I get into that, though, I want to talk about the basic premise of Spec Ops in this game. So Spec Ops here is not like it was in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 necessarily, where it's a closed-off, singular mission that, for lack of a better term, is self-contained. Modern Warfare 3, you know, the missions didn't interconnect, and neither did they in Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, they're even less connected, from my memory. And I played, again, I'm speaking from experience. I've beaten all those missions on Veteran. I've done all the challenges, gotten all the stars, gotten every trophy for Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops. So if anyone wants to say that I don't know what I'm talking about, I've done them all. So I have the experience. I'm just giving you my opinion on the matter, what I feel off of it. But no, I just now realized in this clip, not only is that guy getting pushed by the APC, but then this one just landed right on top of another. That's just funny. Sorry. Spec Ops seems to be taking a different turn this year, in that the missions will be interconnected, and you do them in 4-player instead of 2-player. That was something that always bothered me with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, was that the highest you could go was 2-player. And you might say, well, 2-player isn't bad, and it's not. But it really is on a few of those specific missions, where you'll have enemies pouring in from all these different sides, and you're kind of dependent on your partner to know what they're doing. If you have 4 people, it can very easily mitigate that issue and make it to where you can cover each other more effectively. And I do like that idea. On another note, the missions being interconnected, I'm not quite sure how interconnected they are, but from what I've heard, they're not only interconnected, but they're not necessarily set missions either. They are missions that will evolve and change over time and over your actions, but that's from what I've heard. Take it with a grain of salt. I just heard that they aren't set in stone, go here, do this, you get out, done, kind of stuff, you know. I heard that's more of a sandbox, that it's more depending on your success or failures, and depending on how you do or what order you do them in, it will affect the overall gameplay. Now, how much, I have no idea. That was not specified, but that, again, is what I've heard. Now, here's where we get into the juicy part, and by juicy, I mean awful. So, as any Call of Duty fan will painfully know, especially if they played Call of Duty on the PlayStation 3, there has almost always been some company, whether it be Microsoft or Sony, having an exclusivity agreement with Activision for Call of Duty modes or maps or DLC or whatever you want to call them. Now, this is problematic in that this year, instead of having the DLC spaced out like they normally do, they decided to be fair to everyone, which is a good idea. But by being fair to everyone and releasing all the content at the exact same time, and for free, might I add, they did one thing to make this all possible. And that one thing is they sold basically the Spec Ops survival mode to Sony for a year. It comes back in like early October or something of next year, like October 10th is when it's available for PC and Xbox. And this is a double-edged sword for me, because on one hand, I feel like it's a fair bargain in the sense that everybody is together with the exception of this one specific game mode. Now, I have heard people complain and say, oh, well, Modern Warfare 3 Survival was a classic, you know, we all loved playing that. Here's my counter-argument to that. How many games have had Survival since then that nobody's played? Because I'm like 90% sure Ghosts had a form of Survival. I know for a fact that Advanced Warfare had Survival mode. It had Exo Survival, which, lame name, but not a terrible mode, I guess. Kind of just tedious and boring. No. People will say, oh, well, Survival was so, you know, it was such a great thing. Also, what about Black Ops 3 Combat Simulator, or Combat Immersion? That was basically survival mode. I mean, granted, it only went 16 waves, but and it was set AI, but it was survival mode. So, I mean, how many people really have been playing survival mode the past few years in the new games? And you might say, oh, well, that's just because the new game survival mode sucked. And you wouldn't be wrong. They do suck. But the point is, if you're in Activision seat, and you have two options, which is one, split your community after you literally work to get crossplay into the game, so that you wouldn't have a split community, or B, just simply block one game mode as a whole, it's kind of obvious the best choice for your fan base is to simply make that one mode exclusive and keep everyone else together in every other facet of the game. And that, I can't argue with that. I mean, I don't like it, but it's more fair than DLC being like a month late. You know, I'll say that. It's more fair than it even being a week late. I've never liked DLC being spaced out. Because I remember when I started playing Call of Duty on PlayStation, was during the Black Ops 1 era. And I got super into zombies. Now, I wasn't good at it back then, but I was into it. And one thing that always upset me was all my friends, all of them had Xbox, and they always, and you know, this was elementary school. I was like 5th grade, going into 6th. So I wasn't like super young, but, you know. And they would be like, yeah, you know, we got the new map, you gotta wait a month, blah, blah, blah. But with that month wait, the map's hype kind of died down. You know, you weren't hyped for a map as much when all your friends have already played it. And now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to be like, but Sam, didn't PlayStation take over that deal with Black Ops 3? And you'd be correct, they did. I think Black Ops 3 was the first, if I'm not mistaken. So they've had it, I know they've definitely had it for Black Ops 3. And then Black Ops 4, well, actually, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, with Modern Warfare Remastered, which I don't know if Modern Warfare Remastered had any content spaced out, but then Call of Duty World War II, and then Black Ops 4. So that's 4 years minimum that it's had a month, or, well, in the case of Black Ops 4, a week early DLC. Now, if you ask many Xbox people now, they'll tell you it's unfair to have it spaced, because, you know, God forbid, you know, they don't have to wait. Or they do have to wait. And now it's only a week. And then they're like, well, there shouldn't be a week. You know, there shouldn't be a week delay. And I would agree. But there's a contract in place for like another few years, to my knowledge, for exclusivity. And newsflash, as a company, you can't just back out of a contract because you suddenly don't like it. And that's where I gotta end this. Basically, it's not fair to anyone, but I think Activision did the best they could with what they had. Because I only have a few minutes to cover multiplayer, so let's get into the multiplayer stuff, huh? So, for multiplayer, you've seen beta footage here. So I have footage of this, and I'm talking from personal experience. Oh yeah, I forgot about this glitch. Yeah, this guy got into the map. I'm watching this as I'm recording. Like, the way I record it, I'm viewing it, and I'm going along with the video time and stuff. So, yeah. Anyways, my opinion of the multiplayer. It is a good multiplayer. Now, it's time to kill a bit fast. And by a bit fast, I mean really freaking fast. Like, if you aren't on your toes, you're gonna die. However, it's a good multiplayer. It is a fun multiplayer. And that is the first time I can say that about Call of Duty for... oh, man. Aside from War Mode and Call of Duty World War II, because War Mode is the one mode that I actually liked in World War II. Probably the last fun multiplayer to me, God, I'm gonna sound so stupid, was all the way back with either Advanced Warfare when it was fresh, when it was just released and nobody was mad about the EXO stuff, or Black Ops 2. And that sounds so bad. Because people are going to be like, but what do you mean? Like, you didn't like any of the multiplayer since then? Not really. Let's put this into perspective. Ghost was at best. Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Infinite Warfare was just, nobody liked it. Oh, wait, I skipped Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3, I didn't like the boosting and the wall gunning. It got old after like a week. It's fun to play on Nuketown, but like any other map, it's annoying. And if that's the case, then the multiplayer itself isn't fun. This multiplayer, I have fun on every map. I have fun playing the game and, you know, just doing whatever. I don't need to be doing a challenge. I don't need to be doing whatever. It's fun and it's new and I like it. And a lot of people are like, it's too much Battlefield. It's too much whatever. And I don't agree. I think that this is perfect. This is what Call of Duty should be. And before you say, oh, well, Call of Duty, you know, they're only doing vehicles to compete with Battlefield. Call of Duty World at War had tanks. Call of Duty 3 used to have tanks and jeeps. I mean, they're just going back to what they had back in the day, now that they can support it and the large player count. And do it good with good graphics, because let's be real, but you know, most Battlefield games, they don't really quite compare to the Call of Duty graphics. In my personal opinion, the graphics look a bit more cartoony on Battlefield's end. But I like the fact that this game went ahead and not only made a good multiplayer, and they really took a lot of time, and they made sure that the graphics looked right, that all the weapons and stuff, you know, were really nicely done and handled. I don't remember there being like a really OP weapon. Now there were a few for like different ranges, like of course if you're close quarters the MP5 was the best, or if you're long range, you know, the sniper would be the best or whatever, but there wasn't any singularly, this is the best gun in the game kind of gun. I did not pick up on that. There were a few better ones, but there wasn't any preset like, oh yeah, if you use this you'll be a god, you know. And I like that. I like the fact that this game is balanced, and again, the map design might be a bit shady. I will say that it's not the best, but it ain't bad either. I can live with it. I've only got about a minute left. Crap. At least a good solid minute talking. So, long story short, multiplayer is not the mainstay of this game. I think campaign is the mainstay. But I'll definitely be playing some multiplayer and getting video for you guys and just enjoying it in general. It's a great multiplayer from my experience, from the beta and from the alpha. That does not mean that if launch is radically different for some reason or another, that doesn't mean I'm going to like it there. Anyways, that's where I got to start wrapping this up. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, if you want to hear me ramble more in a different video, please leave a like down below and subscribe if you want to see more like this. Be sure to check out my other videos, my series Fun with Friends, as well as my Red Dead Redemption 2 guide. Not guide, Let's Play, my bad. Check those out, and I'm going to be starting a new Let's Play next week. Maybe it'll be Modern Warfare, maybe it'll be Battlefield 5. I have no earthly idea, and it just depends on how the week goes, I guess. So with that being said, if you have any creative suggestions, or anything else for future videos, let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, I've been Sam Sauce 4-on-1. I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.